At this past week's school committee meeting, parents made the case on why or why not masks should be mandated.
In due diligence, we reviewed the list and specifically reviewed the non-Hopkinton listed names, 92 in total, in an attempt to verify addresses and correct any addresses requiring corrections or updates. Using public property and address websites and our personal contacts and communications, we were able to verify that 58 of the 92 signatures had Hopkinton addresses. In total, by our count, we can present 491 signatures from individuals with Hopkinton addresses. Since we printed out our list yesterday afternoon, we have continued to collect additional signatures. As of this evening, an additional 27 people have signed our petition since yesterday afternoon.
For 18 months, our children's lives have been interrupted, while so many things have been taken from them or significantly altered, all while they're most vulnerable from losing social and educational experiences, not from a virus. They face massively greater risk of dying from the seasonal flu than from COVID, and we've never once thought to mask them then. We can look at how European countries withstood the Delta wave even after opening their societies, all while dropping mandatory interventions, including masks. Viruses mutate to survive, that's what they do, but they become less harmful and more treatable, just like influenza. There is no legitimate scientific study that supports the idea that kids should be wearing masks while in school. No admissible data shows that COVID spread is restricted by masks. Monday's Wall Street Journal refers to a North Carolina study that found not a single case of student-to-teacher transmission when 90,000 students were in school maskless. A child's mask is a symbolic security blanket to adults, not for children. How much are we going to alter our lives and behavior to accommodate a singular phobia? It's madness. I've shared with the committee ahead of time a study managed by Brown University from last fall and spring. The study featured schools that mandated masks and schools that gave parents and children a choice, like we advocate for, depending on their own risk assessments. There was no significant dichotomy in cases. In fact, the schools that allowed for mask choice showed less prevalence. Why were these outcomes not reported by mainstream media? Because if it bleeds, it leads, because fear gets ratings. I think we know that by now.
I am a research scientist at a local research-based biopharmaceutical company. I am here to show my support for making masking mandatory in schools in Hopkinton. Although I am not a parent, I am an aunt and a taxpayer and a member of this community, which I have come to love. And I have also been a part of the recent international COVID-19 research efforts. Due to my position, I was on a team that helped study the virus and understand its mechanism of action in the beginning of the pandemic. I know that masking up has become a political debate, but as a scientist, this is incredibly troubling. Peer-reviewed studies have shown that masking can reduce the risk of transmission of the virus by more than 70%. These studies are cited on the CDC website and NIH. I can send them to you if you'd like. And despite what the opponents of this mandate are claiming, there are no reputable scientific studies that show that wearing a mask can negatively affect the health of children. In a recent review by the NIH, they reviewed 2 studies done in 2019 and 2020, done on children wearing face masks, the only 2 studies available due to the recent nature of this pandemic. Neither study was directly related to COVID-19, and although they were very small studies, both concluded that wearing a mask did not affect gas exchange during rest or mild exercise.
It's all subterfuge, right? It's say one thing, do another thing. I think we've seen enough in the news. The people that are telling us to do things are the people that are not following those rules. So to subject our kids, I think it's complete nonsense. I used to think teachers were heroes, just like nurses. I work in a hospital setting. I've been completely let down by the teachers, and not only in this town, in all towns. You know, I thought you were there for the kids. When the times get tough, you showed us your true colors, and everyone's hiding in the house. So I don't know if it's teachers' unions, but I would encourage all teachers that feel strongly about anti-masking, step forward. Don't be beholden to the union. You can step out and say and speak your mind.
Street, and I have 3 children in the schools, entering high school, entering middle school, and entering Hopkins. So my concern about the masks is simply children are learning social cues and social expressions, and with the masks, I think it's incredibly difficult for them to understand emotions and taking social cues. And I also think that, coupled with the mental health situation that we've seen happen the past 18 months, I think is also an issue that we're going to be creating children that are not socially aware and maybe not self-aware. So that's my take on the masks.
we are trying our best to make the best decision we can for all students across the district. It's obvious from not just what we've heard here tonight, but what we've seen on social media and what we've seen in the email is that no matter what we decide, a good chunk of the town is probably going to be angry. So it's not specific to either or, it's whatever we do, there's going to be a large group of people, I think, who are unhappy.
A vote is expected on masks at the school committee meeting on August 19th. You can view the full August 12th meeting on our YouTube page.